We received a comment from one of you last week, and it said that they were struggling on keto because they had been keto for a couple of weeks, but yesterday they had 24 net carbs and they didn't realize it, and they felt really discouraged because even though they were trying their best, they still hit over 20 net carbs. So we thought we would talk about it today and the misconceptions about how many carbs you actually need to get in ketosis and to stay there.
And today's video is sponsored by Factor. More about them later.
Back when Sarah and I started to lose weight 20 years ago, we did the Atkins diet. And the first phase of the Atkins diet was to eat less than 20 net carbs a day. And if you did this, then you would be put into
Ketosis.
So basically, Atkins and keto, they're similar, but not really, because with Atkins, it was always like the hope that you were going to be able to reintroduce some of the carbs back into your life. But Sarah and I tried to do that, and we were unsuccessful a lot of the time. We would only do induction for the stints that we were on Atkins. So 4 months, 3 months, as long as we could stick it out. And then we would go overboard and gain everything back and more, that whole story. Tale as old as time. That was our story with our weight loss journey. In the back of our heads, 20 was always the magic number. You need to eat 20, we needed to eat 20, but that's not necessarily true. The truth is that it varies. You can probably handle a different amount of carbs than someone else based on your body, your activity level, and all these sorts of other components that you don't really have any control over, right? You might be able to tolerate more than 20 net carbs, but the 20 net carb threshold, it's almost guaranteed that if you eat less than 20 carbs, that you will be in ketosis. That's the number that they tell everybody to stay below, right? So if you eat 24 net carbs, you probably still are in ketosis. I came across an article to try to explain this to somebody. If you look at this rule.me website, which is a very popular keto website, they've got a lot of great recipes on there. It says that some people may not be able to get into ketosis with a slightly higher carb intake, while others need to restrict their carbs to below 35 grams a day. That's a lot more than 20 net carbs a day, right? And so if you look at another website here, Keto Mojo website, they say that while 20 grams of total carbs is the amount that pretty much anybody could get into ketosis, 20 grams of net carbs is the starting point for most people trying to achieve weight loss or general health benefits. But there are some people that find success eating 50 carbs a day or 100 carbs a day.
We say that everyone should start off with the 20 net carbs because it's just a good starting point.
Right.
And you should try to be under 20 net carbs because honestly, you're probably going to overshoot it some of the time, especially when you're eating things that have a lot of like almond flour or things that raise up the carb count on certain dishes. Aiming for 20 net carbs a day, you're probably going to be a little bit over that.
But it will still be okay. If you want to live a relaxed keto lifestyle, live a relaxed keto lifestyle. And if you do not want to go through all of the trouble of tracking and weighing and measuring and cooking your food, then we have the product for you. The sponsor of today's video is Factor. We are so thrilled that Factor reached out to us again to sponsor one of our videos because we really love this company.
Factor provides healthy eating made simple.
They provide a menu each week of delicious, nutritious meals, and they're keto friendly. Each meal is cooked by real chefs from scratch, and they are not frozen. They are fresh. You just put them in the microwave for 3 minutes and they are done. There is no cleanup if you don't want to. There are no dishes if you don't want to. It is wonderful. It is the way that I want to live. Sarah and I do a lot of cooking for this channel, but during the week, honestly, we have a lot of work to do. And so this has given me back so much time. Like, I think that this product is so great if you are just sick of cooking and sick of thinking about it, to be quite honest, because there is not only cooking involved, there's shopping, there's cleanup, and these meals are meals that I would not make for myself normally. There were so many choices that I liked this week, but one of the standout ones was like a pork green peppercorn. Don't even know what that is. I was scraping the bottom of the plate, but it was just so delicious. I don't normally eat pork chops, but this was so good. You can choose the amount of meals that are right for you. The other thing I wanted to add is that these meals are made with the highest quality ingredients. They are humanely raised, pasture raised, grass-fed. It's like the best that you can get for your money.
It takes the guesswork out of doing keto.
So if you're interested, we would love for you to check it out. You can click the link in our description and use code KETOTWINS90 and get $90 off your first 3 weeks of Factor plus free shipping. So like we said, Factor is a great way to keep what you're doing under control, right? Like, you know what you're getting in a meal. You know the serving sizes because they're given to you. I know that personally, I give myself very generous serving sizes.
Yeah.
That's why, like, honestly, when we give out recipes of our own ingredients, I'm wary to tell you guys how many calories or carbs are in each serving because I don't pay attention to that normally, right? We've always pretty much eyeballed it. So, like, as people who are technically keto, we encourage you guys to, like, be mindful of it, but don't beat yourself up over a couple of carbs. You're probably still going to be fine. You're probably still going to be in ketosis. If you don't feel a drastic change, you're probably still in ketosis. So what does it feel like to be kicked totally out of ketosis? I know personally that if I'm kicked out of ketosis, I have a hard time sleeping that night and I feel hot.
Yeah.
I feel very hot. I roll around in bed because I'm just not used to feeling that way. And it feels like I'm like hotter. My body temperature goes up. I don't feel well. You know, your gut bacteria is not used to eating a bunch of sugar. So if you feed it a bunch of sugar, all of this new gut bacteria, the ones that are left over, they're going to start to flourish. Right? That's why some people have problems with keto, by the way, in the beginning. It's because, you know, you have all these billions of gut bacterium that live inside your gut, right? Some of them are used to eating sugar, carb. Some of them are used to eating meat. You pretty much starve some of them, and the other ones flourish. So that can give you an upset, like, you know what I'm talking about. Do I really need to say it? Stomach problems.
Issues.
Right. And that is what can happen to you if you haven't fed those gut bacterium carbs, and all of a sudden you eat a bunch of carbs, then a new type is flourishing and the other type is dying, right? So that's what can happen.
When I'm kicked out of ketosis, I know that I'm hungrier faster, like after a meal. I could go probably an entire day after I eat my one meal a day. But if I say that I kick myself out of ketosis on a Sunday, I'm probably hungry by like 9 a.m. the next day.
Right.
And that does not happen to me normally. Normally, I can go all the way until about 3 before I get hungry. And so I notice that my appetite kind of like really picks up because I'm switched over now to a different fuel source. You just have to kind of be aware of how you feel when you're in ketosis, when you're not in ketosis. And then you can kind of gauge like, oh, maybe I had too many net carbs that day. One of the reasons why this is kind of like dangerous for some people, because if they feel like they went over 20 net, it's kind of like, well, this day's out the window.
Right.
Let me
I've
just
done
go
that.
order a corn dog and some French fries and a hamburger and a
Who
shake.
orders a corn dog?
I've been thinking about a corn dog.
From
I don't know.
delivery food? That would be the last thing I would ever order from
Chinese
delivery.
food, pizza, whatever, you name it. You're like, well, this day's ruined. I'm going to go and I'm going to order whatever I want. I think a lot of people try to like
Justify
cheating, or they like want to make the best of it. They cheated. Let's go ham and order whatever I want. And that's the dangerous part of it, because one meal that you throw yourself off turns into 2. And the next day you're like, well, I cheated yesterday. I'm not in ketosis.
It's 6 months later.
Right.
And,
We've done that multiple times. Just get back on the next meal. You don't have to throw away everything, all the progress that you've made just because you went over a little bit on the carbs that day.
I'll tell a little story about this happening to me. It was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. I had been on keto for about 2 months, which was a long time for me. We went through the McDonald's drive-thru, and I was only craving iced coffee. And I didn't realize that they put sugar in the iced coffee even if you don't ask for it. I was like, it's kind of sweet. I did not realize that I was drinking a lot of sugar. And I felt so terrible because I had gone like 60 days without cheating. And so I went home that night and I just went off the deep end. I was bad for a couple months after that because I just felt like I had thrown it all away because it wasn't even in my control, and I tried to do my best. And now I don't really feel that way about it anymore. It's like you do the best that you can. Don't beat yourself up over even 5 or 10 carbs. You're probably gonna be okay. If you're not doing this for some kind of serious medical issue, you just want to lose weight, even eating 40 carbs a day is better than what you did before, right? Don't beat yourself up too much. You do the best you can tomorrow. You're going to be fine. To this viewer that commented it, I just felt really bad because she seemed really stressed out, and it's not worth it to be stressed out over 3 carbs. You could eat a little bit more broccoli or spinach and eat 3 net carbs, and it's way better than eating, a family-sized pack of Pringles. I used to do that. And so you could have done that, but no, you had a couple carbs extra. You need to pat yourself on the back for doing the best that you can. So tomorrow you try to be a little bit more strict, or you eat a little bit less. The only thing that's going to ruin it is if you decide to give up because you're too frustrated by this lifestyle. And some people on other channels, and this really does work well for them, they like to test their blood for ketones every day. after every meal. And I really commend them because I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. I'm not going to prick my finger. I'm not going to test my blood. I don't want to. I'm scared of it. I don't want to. And I don't want to think of my life as if I'm always playing this, trying to find this game of, does this kick me out of ketosis or doesn't it? It's just personally not what I want to do, and it's not sustainable for me. I know that much, and we don't think it's terrible, but mentally I just don't think it's healthy to obsess. But we're what, 2 years and almost 9 months into this lifestyle, and going this way, it's smooth sailing. And if I mess up one day, you just get back on the next day. Keto is like either you're in or you're not. But that doesn't mean that this diet has to be that way. You just do the best that you can. And every day, you just do the best that you can.
If you guys have Instagram, please check us out at Keto Twins Official. We're posting more behind the scenes content on there so you can see like us fighting and us, I'm just kidding.
Fighting.
What
so
is
you can
that?
see this picture from our childhood. We had a very nostalgic and creepy childhood from the 1990s. I don't know, I'm just posting kind of random stuff on there.
I have a good picture next for that, the roller coaster picture.
If you enjoy Instagram and you like that whole aesthetic thing where everything is color matched, that's not our page. We're just posting random stuff from our lives. So if you want to check us out, Keto Twins Official. We do appreciate all of you that have followed us on there.
And if you guys do like this video, please give this video a like. It does help us out with the YouTube algorithm, so it pushes it out to more people. And if you'd like to see other content by us, you can click on one of the videos on the screen and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Emily.
And we are the Keto Twins signing out.